Meaning is what emerges beautifully and profoundly, like a newly formed rosebud, opening itself out of nothingness into the light of sun and God. Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane, Planidin, and you're in the right place if you're ready to create an inspired life. And we do so by working on our own personal development, so we can be strong role models for those we love and mentor. Today is Chapter 7 from Jordan Peterson's best-selling book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. And rule number 7 is, do what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Ah, yes, what a beautiful way to look at the world, especially in our instantaneous world, where people post something online and, well, check 5 seconds later to see if somebody liked it. You don't need that validation, because your validation can come from within your own being, your own self. And you do that by pursuing what is meaningful. Great things take time, right? There's an old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, but wow, what a spectacular, long-lasting vision they had. So I really like this rule. He begins the chapter with quite a bit about our dark side, and I did a whole episode on the dark side from Robert Greene's book, Human Nature, The Laws of Human Nature. There's going to be 3 takeaways today that might just help you a little bit. That's our goal anyways. So let's begin. He begins to say, being, yes, who wants to bring about the best of all possible future? Who wants to create heaven on earth will make the greatest of sacrifices of self and child, of everything that is loved, to live a life aimed at the good. He will forego expediency. He, or she, let's say, will pursue the path of ultimate meaning, and he will in that manner bring salvation to the ever desperate world. So that is something to really digest deep inside of you, because we all have that dark side, but the light is in you. It is in you. It might be buried deep because you might have far too many scars. You may have had so much adversity in your life, you're just wondering, what the heck? What is the meaning of life here? But you're on this globe for a reason, and you can give back to society, but it is work, and it's daily work. And people think, oh well, it'll get easier as I get older, but yikes, I don't want to burst your bubble too soon, but it does not get easier. And you don't really realize this until you have to look adversity in the face, until you've had a setback. And a way to really be aware of your thoughts helps a lot. It helps a lot. I'm just going to say that. But I wanted to have a really positive vibe for you today, because evil is everywhere. It's around every corner. And I don't really think we need a reminder of it, do we? Because we know, we all know that we have that evil dark side within us. That we can rise up, rise to the occasion, do something that is meaningful, and help each other out a little bit. So that is takeaway number 1. When you realize that you have a vulnerable side, and Peterson talks about this in great length in this chapter, you realize you have a vulnerable side. You recognize vulnerability in others, and that's when you get to choose what you're going to do. Are you going to take advantage of the vulnerable person because somebody took advantage of you, or are you going to be helpful? And he has a quote in his book, and this isn't just about Christianity. I want to make this clear. He even quotes on this chapter about the Tao Te Ching, and it says, "He who contrives defeats his purpose, and he who is grasping loses. The sage does not contrive to win, and therefore is not defeated. He is not grasping, so does not lose. I love that. Are you grasping at straws? Are you just throwing darts? Or do you have a vision? Do you have a goal? Do you remember to pivot when you need to? Change direction, whatever's going on. Have that flexibility. You don't know how you're going to reach your goal every single step of the way. You have to be able to adjust and make different decisions along the way. And that is actually not really talked about in this chapter very much, but we're doing the top takeaways that I contrived from this chapter, and that was definitely, things take time to progress. Excellent example of this is music composition, specifically the symphonies that we listen to in classical music. Most of the great classical music was written back, when Mozart and Beethoven were hanging out. Michelangelo, he didn't really become great at his craft until later in life. Yes, well into his 80s, I think, is when he peaked. Now, the reason I mention that is because sometimes people think, oh, I'm 40 now, I'm middle-aged. My life is just, going the other direction now. No, we live a long time, and if you stay healthy and take care of your temple, which is your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, you might be destined for something great by the age of 80. You could be publishing Faust. I mean, there's so many things that you can still do. It's actually quite fascinating if you really put your mind to it. But take your time, right? Take your time moving forward. It's so much more gratifying. And so let me give you another positive vibe from Peterson's book. Meaning is when everything there is comes together in an ecstatic dance of single purpose, the glorification of a reality that's no matter how good it has suddenly become, it can get even better and better and better more and more deeply forever into the future. Yes. So what you're doing today will move with you into the future. And an easy analogy of that is your health, is your well-being. That is, whatever lifts you up, that's where meaning is to be found. Yes, an interesting thing about that is when you read a book and you love the author and they're really able to grasp the emotion, gives that book so much more meaning when you, the reader, can feel it. So that's what I'm talking about. What is the bubbling emotion? Okay, so that's another takeaway. Use your emotions for positive actions. You move forward in life. Are you thinking too much? How is that making you feel? Do you look in the mirror and go, uh-oh, when did that happen? It's all related. It's all relatable. And if you can deeply dive into that, being aware of your thoughts. And the third takeaway was this: meaning is the way, the path of life more abundant, the place you live when you are guided by love and speaking truth, when nothing you want or could possibly want takes any precedence over precisely that. Guided by love and speaking truth. Well, yesterday was Valentine's Day, so hopefully you're feeling the love for yourself, because then you can feel the love for others. So the 3 key points is really all about your own proper mindset. In order for you to pursue something that's meaningful, recognize your vulnerability, recognize the vulnerability in others, and then you get to choose what you're going to sacrifice for the future. Attach an emotion to your meaning. You can feel it. You can see the end is near in sight to reach your goal. You don't have to know everywhere, which way, how to get there. No, you don't. You will reach your goal easier when you have an emotion attached to it. So really develop that. And then remember, meaning will give you an abundant life. Meaning in setting your sights to a better future, whatever that looks like for you. You need to do what is meaningful. That is rule number 7. Not what is expedient. And that rose, that blossom, oh, it'll flourish. And you will live a more inspired life.